All right, next one for you, Steve. A new poll shows voters in key swing states overwhelmingly favored the economy under Trump.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, more than 60% said, hey, the economy under Trump was in pretty good shape, while that number under Biden drops between 38 and 42%. I mean, before COVID hit, if I'm not mistaken, Steve, the Trump economy was at a 50-year high. Do you think the economy is a key issue this November?
It is the economy, stupid. I mean, let me put it very simply. If the argument that people go to the polls in November is if it's about the economy, Trump is going to win a landslide. I guarantee it. Now, there's all sorts of different issues out there. Abortion is a problem for Republicans. Other issues like that. But if it's focused on, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? And remember, Ashley, it was Ronald Reagan who asked that question to the American people in 1980 when he ran against Jimmy Carter, the last time we had high inflation. So, yes. And by the way, who are these 30% who think the economy is better today than under Trump? I mean, my God, I just did a study looking at 20 of the major economic statistics, everything from what's happening in inflation, what's happening with interest rates, what's happening with gas prices, all of these things. At 18 of the 20 indexes, Trump beats Biden.
You saw those three states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Gang, those are the three states that will ultimately decide this election, and they are slipping through Biden's fingers in real time. All as a new national poll shows Trump leading by double digits. We're going to find out exactly what's going on. You are not going to want to miss this. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, a blessed bright week to all my Orthodox brothers and sisters out there. If you don't know, the Orthodox Easter was yesterday. We call it Pascha. It was absolutely amazing as always. And so a blessed bright week to all my fellow Orthodox kin. Also, if you haven't already done so, it is time to get even with Nancy Pelosi. And you know she and her ilk have been getting insiders trading secrets for decades now, enabling their returns to beat the market every single year. But thanks to a little-known SEC database, guess what? We can have access to those very same trading secrets as well that these politicians are privy to. We get to see what stocks corporate CEOs are buying up in real time, and then we get to piggyback on their trades to gain the same advantage for ourselves that Pelosi and the crooks in D.C. have. My good friend Ross Givens has been tracking insider trading for years now, and his recommendations have led to investment returns of over 200%. Some have hit as high as nearly 1,500%. And now it's your turn. Click on that link below right now and learn how you too can learn to trade like Pelosi. Click on that link and learn how to gain an insider advantage for yourself today. More and more pundits are recognizing that we may indeed be seeing Biden's political collapse in real time right now as we speak. The key here is the all-important handful of states known as the Blue Wall. So these are states like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan that have historically guaranteed a Democrat victory in a presidential race. That wall colossally crumbled back in 2016 when Trump swept all three states. He's the first Republican to do that since 1988. Now, as it turns out, it looks like Trump is poised to smash that wall again. The latest Emerson poll just dropped, and it shows that Trump is leading Biden in every single swing state. He's up 3 in Wisconsin, 4 in Michigan, 2 in Pennsylvania, 5 in Arizona, 4 in North Carolina, and 1 in Nevada. To add insult to injury, we had the Kaplan Strategies poll that just came out last week. It just posted utterly devastating numbers. Kaplan found Trump up by 10 in Wisconsin and 15 in Michigan, as well as 5 in Pennsylvania. Now, it has to be said that those margins are outliers. We've not seen any other polling that suggests numbers like that, although the latest Rasmussen poll that just dropped over the weekend has Trump up by 12 nationally. 12! That's in a 5-way race. A 3-way race with just RFK has Trump up by 10. So circling back, Psaki, to the Blue Wall here, what pundits are noticing is that the Blue Wall states are an absolute must-win for Biden, precisely because Trump appears to be running away with it in the so-called Sunbelt swing states. So those are states Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, and North Carolina. So Trump leads Biden by an average of 3 to 6 points in those states, whereas his average lead in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan is a bit smaller. So he appears to be pulling away in the 4 Sunbelt swing states. And so the blue wall has simply never been more important for a Democrat in a presidential election as it is right now. And it looks like those 3 states are indeed slipping through Biden's fingers in real time. And we can see why. As I understand it, Biden is polling on average a good 12 points lower than he was polling back in 2020. And again, they had to manufacture mountains of ballots just to get Biden to win by barely 40,000 votes. 10,000 in Arizona, 10,000 in Georgia, and then 20,000 in Wisconsin that were later thrown out by the Wisconsin Supreme Court 2 years after the fact. Thank you very much. But at this point, polling 12 points lower than you did back when you barely made it past the finish line is not good news, to say the least, if you're a Biden fan. And now there are reports that the Trump campaign is making a play for Minnesota and Virginia based on their own internal polling. Again, this is a nightmare scenario for Biden. Take a look at the Survey USA poll that just dropped a couple of weeks back. It found that Trump and Biden are statistically tied in the ultra blue state of Minnesota, the lone state that voted for Mondale back in '84. And we're seeing just how competitive particularly Minnesota is in the RCP average. That's the Real Clear Politics polling aggregate that averages out all the polling, in this case done in Minnesota. Look at this. Biden's leading by an average of just 2 points, 2.3 in freaking Minnesota. By comparison, Biden was leading by 7 in 2020. And that itself is suggestive because Biden ended up winning Minnesota by only 2 in 2020. So the polling average way overstated the Democrat support for Biden. The average was 7, but he only ended up winning by 2. And apparently that's been a pattern over the last several years. Minnesota tends to overpoll for the Democrats and underpoll Republican support. So if that's the case, you can imagine the horror that Democrats are going through right now, seeing Trump and Biden now in a statistical tie. Now, if they're statistically tied in Minnesota, in a state that tends to overestimate Democrat support and underestimate Republican support, the projected result is rather obvious. And to make things even worse for Biden, take a look at the latest fundraising total. It's just been announced that Trump raised over $76 million in April. $76 million. It's a huge haul. And it shows that some major donors are reading the writing on the wall, and they're seeing a Trump victory is more and more likely with every week that passes. And again, you don't have to be a genius to figure out why. Trump is absolutely surging here. Even the pundits at CBS are admitting it.
We ask them now, okay, has it gotten better? And very few people say that it has. In fact, many say they feel it's gotten worse. And inflation is the reason that they say that. But what's also interesting is we ask them, okay, look back to the economy during the Trump years. Mm-hmm. How do you remember it? And the majority say they remember it as being good.
Because they forget about the pandemic.
Well, they seem to be skipping over the pandemic, and that's exactly what that tells you in their memory of this. But it also explains now, when you ask them, okay, now let's look forward. They say they feel they'd be financially better off under Donald Trump, and that cuts directly to vote, and that is helping the former president.
That's it in a nutshell, gang. It's the economy, stupid, all over again. And we know what happens to incumbent presidents when 60% of voters are dissatisfied with the economy. That appears to be exactly what is playing out right in front of our very eyes. Now, of course, it's still early, right? We've got 6 months to go here. Anything can happen. And of course, the Democrats are already trying to steal the election with their lawfare, their weaponized legalism against Trump in Manhattan. But when all's said and done, right now, Trump is crushing it. It's our job to keep that momentum going and crush the Democrats in November. Here's your opportunity to tell big tech tyrants where they can stick it. Click on that link below and download our brand new cancel-proof Turley Talks app, and you can sign our special declaration of restoration. That's our petition to big tech that declares a new day is dawned. They are no longer in control, and we are taking our nation back. We've already got over 1,000 signatures of courageous patriots, and yours is next. Click on that link below or go to fight.turleytalks.com right now.